There is nothing important in this story. You don't need to listen carefully. Even if your mind wanders, it is perfectly fine. You are not required to remember anything. You are allowed to fall asleep at any moment. This is a place where nothing needs to be done. There is no goal to reach, no lesson to learn, and no detail that matters. You can simply let the sound of my voice stay in the background like a distant hum, like a quiet breeze passing through the room. If your thoughts drift away, let them drift. If sleep arrives before the story truly begins, that is exactly how it is meant to be. Take a slow breath in and gently let it go. And now, whenever you are ready, the story can begin. Take a slow breath in through your nose and gently let it go. You don't need to do anything else right now. There is nowhere you need to be. Nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to fix. This is simply a quiet place. A place where your mind can loosen its grip. A place where your body can begin to rest. As you listen, you might notice that the words move slowly. That is intentional. There is no rush here. If your thoughts drift, that is perfectly fine. You do not need to follow every word. You do not need to stay alert. You do not need to understand anything. Just let the sound exist in the background like a soft hum in another room. Imagine that you are standing at the edge of a very wide, open field. The field stretches far in every direction. There are no sharp edges, no fences, no signs, just soft land gently rolling under a calm sky. The air here feels neutral, not cold, not warm, just comfortable. Above you, the sky is pale and still. There are no dramatic clouds, no bright colors, just a soft, even light that doesn't ask for attention. You are not walking yet, you are simply standing, feeling the ground beneath your feet. The ground is solid and steady. It supports you without effort. You don't have to balance. You don't have to adjust. Your body already knows how to stand, so you let it do that on its own. Now, without any hurry, you begin to walk. Each step is slow, unremarkable, almost boring. Your feet lift and settle again. Lift, settle. There is no destination you are trying to reach. You are walking simply because walking feels natural. As you move, your breathing stays easy, in and out. Nothing forced, nothing counted. The field does not change much as you go. And that is a good thing. There are no surprises here, no sudden sounds, no movement asking for your attention. This place exists to be ignored. As you continue walking, you notice a simple wooden bench in the distance. It is not new, it is not old, it just is. The bench sits quietly on the ground as if it has been there for a very long time and expects nothing from anyone. You walk toward it without thinking, without planning. When you reach the bench, you sit down. The bench supports you easily. You don't sink too much. You don't perch on the edge, you simply sit. Your body settles into the position that feels easiest. Your shoulders loosen a little. Your jaw unclenches. You may notice your tongue resting gently inside your mouth. Your lips not pressing together. Your eyes either closed or heavy. From this bench, you can see the field even more clearly, but nothing is happening, and that is exactly what allows your mind to soften. Your thoughts may still appear, that's okay. They can come and go like distant clouds. You do not need to follow them. You do not need to stop them. If you notice a thought, you can let it pass by quietly. And if you don't notice anything at all, that's fine too. Now very slowly, bring your attention to your feet. You don't need to move them, just notice them. Notice how they feel supported. Notice how they are no longer working. Then let that awareness drift upward to your lower legs, your knees, your thighs. Each area can soften without you doing anything. Your body already understands rest. You are simply allowing it. Your attention moves to your hands. They may be resting in your lap or at your sides. You don't need to adjust them. Let your fingers relax. Let them curl or stretch in whatever way feels natural. Your hands have done enough today. They do not need to hold anything anymore. Your shoulders begin to drop slightly, not forced, just gently releasing. Your neck feels supported, your head balanced comfortably. There is nothing you need to listen for, nothing you need to respond to, just the sound of a calm voice moving slowly without urgency. At some point, you may notice that the images become fuzzy, less clear. That is a good sign. It means your mind is beginning to drift away from effort. If you lose track of the scene, there is no need to bring it back. Sleep does not require attention. It happens best when attention fades. The bench, the field, the sky. They begin to feel distant, as if they are behind a thin veil. Your body grows heavier, not uncomfortable, just settled, like sinking gently into a mattress that already knows your shape. Your breathing continues on its own, in and out, each breath slightly slower than the one before. There is no need to control it. Your body has been breathing for you your entire life. It does not need instructions now. As this first part comes to a close, you don't need to remember anything. You don't need to stay awake for what comes next. This story will continue slowly, quietly, without asking for your attention. If sleep arrives now, let it. If not, that is perfectly fine too. Rest is already happening, and you can allow yourself to drift just a little more. The room remains exactly as it was before. Nothing new has happened. Nothing important is about to happen. You are still here, listening. Or maybe you are not really listening anymore. Both are perfectly fine. There is no need to focus on these words. They do not lead anywhere special. They are simply passing by, one after another. Imagine a very quiet place, not a beautiful place, not an exciting place, just a quiet place. It might be a long hallway, or an empty field, or a room with nothing inside it. The details do not matter. If you cannot imagine anything at all, that is even better. In this place, nothing needs to be done. There are no tasks waiting, no responsibilities, no expectations. Time moves very slowly here, so slowly that it almost feels stopped. You may notice your breathing, or you may not. There is no correct way to be here. Your body already knows how to rest. It has done this many times before. You do not need to help it. Each word you hear is soft, heavy in a gentle way, like a blanket placed carefully over your thoughts. Thoughts may appear, random thoughts, unfinished thoughts. They do not need answers. They do not need attention. You can let them drift away the same way clouds move across a sky you are no longer watching. There is a sense of distance now between you and the day you had, between you and the things you were thinking about earlier. That distance continues to grow. You may feel your shoulders lowering slightly, your jaw becoming loose, your forehead smoothing out. If not, that is also fine. There's no rush. This story is not trying to entertain you. It is not trying to teach you anything. It is not trying to reach a conclusion. It simply continues. Imagine walking very slowly, not toward a destination, just walking. Each step is easy, effortless, almost automatic. The ground beneath you is steady. You do not need to look down. You do not need to look up. There is nothing to see that matters. With every step, your body feels heavier, not uncomfortable, just relaxed. A comfortable heaviness, like sinking slightly into a soft surface. Your arms rest where they are. Your hands are relaxed. Your fingers do not need to move. Breathing continues on its own, slow, quiet. The space around you feels safe. Nothing unexpected will happen here. The words continue, but you do not have to follow them. You can let them blur together, like background noise, like a distant sound you are no longer curious about. Your mind may begin to drift, images fading in and out, or maybe nothing at all. Both are signs of rest. There is no point in staying alert, no reason to stay awake. The story does not require you. It will keep going, whether you listen or not. Your body is settling deeper now, into the surface beneath you, into stillness. The space between thoughts grows longer. The silence between words feels wider. You are not waiting for sleep. You are allowing it. Nothing needs to change. Nothing needs to improve. You are already doing this correctly. The night is quiet. The moment is calm. And you are free to let go. Nothing has changed. The space around you remains quiet. Still. Uninterrupted. There is no announcement of what comes next. No signal. No transition you need to notice. The story simply continues, the same way your breathing continues without you asking it to. You may already feel distant from these words. They sound softer now, less important. That is exactly how they are meant to be. There is nothing hidden inside this story. No message, no lesson. You do not need to stay with it. Imagine sitting somewhere very plain, a place with no decoration, no colors worth naming. The light is neutral, not bright, not dark, just enough to exist. You are not waiting for anything here. Time has no schedule. Minutes stretch gently, like they are not sure where they are going. Your body continues to rest, muscles loosening in their own order. Some already relaxed, some still letting go. There's no need to scan your body, no need to check anything. Everything is already moving in the right direction. The mind may try to think. It may bring up small memories, unfinished ideas. You do not have to respond. Those thoughts can pass through like sounds from another room, quiet enough to ignore. You are not required to be aware. Even if you stop listening completely, the story does not mind. It was never meant to be followed closely. Imagine a slow rhythm, not music, just a sense of repetition, breath in, breath out, no counting, no control, just a natural pattern. Your eyelids feel heavier now, or maybe they already have been. The space behind your eyes feels wide, empty, calm. Nothing needs to fill it. The world outside this moment feels far away, unimportant, muted. Whatever happened earlier today no longer needs your attention. It has already passed. There is no benefit in holding on to it now. Your shoulders may sink a little deeper, your neck resting fully, your face completely relaxed. Even small tension melts without effort. You are not trying to sleep, you are simply not resisting it. That is enough. The story drifts forward, slowly, without direction. Imagine walking through a place with no landmarks, no signs, no destination. Every step feels the same, safe, predictable. There is comfort in that sameness. Your thoughts begin to space out, longer pauses between them. Silence grows gently. Words appear, then disappear. You do not have to catch them. Your awareness becomes softer, less sharp, more distant. You may feel like you are floating slightly or sinking. Either feeling is fine. Your body knows what to do. There is no urgency here, no reason to stay alert. The night accepts you exactly as you are. If sleep comes now, nothing will be missed. The story does not reach a climax. It does not build. It only continues to fade. Breathing remains slow, steady, automatic. Your chest rises and falls, your body heavy, supported. You may no longer be forming clear images, just vague impressions, soft darkness. That is a good sign. Your mind is stepping back, letting go. The space around you feels safe and quiet. No interruptions, no surprises. You are allowed to disappear into rest. The words keep flowing, but they are no longer asking for attention. You are free to drift. Sleep is close now, or maybe already here, and that is perfectly fine. Nothing new begins. There is no clear starting point here. The story simply keeps moving, like breathing that never asks permission. If you are still listening, that is fine. If you are not, that is also fine. There is nothing you need to catch up on. The words arrive slowly. They do not rush. They do not expect anything from you. You may notice longer gaps between thoughts now, moments where the mind feels blank. Those moments are welcome. You do not need to fill them. Imagine a space that feels neutral, not warm, not cold, just steady. A place where nothing demands attention. Time here does not feel sharp. It feels rounded, soft around the edges. Minutes stretch and blur together. Your body continues to sink into rest, gravity doing its quiet work. Arms heavy, legs heavy, jaw loose. There is no reason to move. Even the idea of movement feels distant. Your breathing is calm now. It happens on its own. You are not guiding it, in and out. Each breath feels slower than the last. You may notice a gentle weight behind your eyes, a comfortable heaviness. Your eyelids do not need instructions. They know how to rest. The outside world fades further away. Sounds soften, thoughts quiet. Whatever still floats through your mind does not stay long. It drifts in, then drifts out. You do not follow it. Imagine walking very slowly through an open area. No walls, no doors. The ground is even, the pace is unchanging. There is no destination. You are not trying to arrive anywhere. The sameness feels calming. Each moment feels like the one before it. Your awareness loosens its grip. You do not need to focus. Nothing important will happen. Nothing important needs to happen. The story exists only to fill space, to gently occupy the silence. And even that is optional. You may feel your body growing warmer or cooler. Either sensation is fine. Comfort adjusts itself naturally. Your shoulders settle deeper, your back fully supported. The muscles in your face are completely relaxed now. No expression, no tension, just rest. The mind slows further, thoughts become incomplete, fading before they finish. This is normal, this is welcome. You are not losing control, you are releasing it. There is no task here, no goal. Sleep is allowed at any moment, even now. The words continue, but they are less solid. They feel distant, like hearing someone speak from far away. You do not need to understand them. You do not need to remember them. They are not building toward anything. They simply exist. Your breathing remains steady, slow, comforting. Each breath gently pulling you deeper into rest. Your body feels heavier than before, as if it is settling into a perfect position. You may notice a sense of floating or sinking. There is no difference. Both mean you are letting go. The night feels wide and quiet, safe, uninterrupted. Nothing is expected from you. Nothing is required. Your mind may try one last time to stay alert, to listen. It does not need to. You are allowed to stop paying attention. The story does not mind. It continues without needing you. Words soften, spaces grow longer. Silence becomes more comfortable than sound. Your awareness fades gently, like light dimming slowly. No sudden change. Just less and less. Sleep is very close now, or perhaps already here. And that is exactly how it should be. Nothing changes suddenly. There is no shift you need to notice. The story simply keeps moving forward quietly, slowly, without direction. If you are awake, that is fine. If you are half asleep, that is better. If sleep has already come, then these words pass by without stopping. There is nothing important here. No detail matters. You do not need to listen carefully. The mind can wander freely. Thoughts can come and go. They do not need attention. They do not need answers. Your body remains still, heavy, comfortable. Each part of you knows how to rest. Breathing happens gently, in its own rhythm, in and out. No effort, no control, just air moving quietly. The space around you feels steady, unchanging, like a calm night that never rushes toward morning. Time feels wide here, loose, unmeasured. Minutes no longer feel like minutes. They stretch, they blur. Your awareness softens further. You may notice that thoughts are no longer complete sentences, just fragments, images, small ideas that dissolve before forming. This is natural. This is sleep approaching. There is no reason to hold on to anything. Imagine a place that does not ask anything from you. No expectations, no movement required. You are simply present, or barely present. Both are fine. Your shoulders sink a little more. Your neck relaxes fully. Even the muscles you forgot about are letting go now. The jaw loosens. The tongue rests. The forehead smooths. Nothing is tense. Nothing is alert. The words continue, but they feel softer than before, almost like background noise. You do not need to follow them. They are only here to keep the silence company. Imagine walking slowly through a quiet area again, the same pace as before. No scenery that stands out, nothing bright, just gentle sameness. The ground feels solid beneath you, reliable. There is no risk here, no surprises. Every step feels identical to the last. Eventually, the idea of walking fades. You are no longer moving. You are simply resting in place. Stillness feels natural, comfortable. Your breathing deepens slightly. Each breath pulls you further away from waking thoughts. Your body temperature feels just right, neither warm nor cold, balanced. Your awareness drifts. You may hear a sound in the distance, or perhaps you do not. It does not matter. The mind is no longer searching, no longer checking, no longer evaluating. It has nothing to do. Sleep feels closer now, not rushing, just waiting patiently. You are allowed to fall asleep at any moment. There is no need to stay awake for this. The story does not depend on you. It does not build toward anything. It simply continues. Words become slower, pauses grow longer. The spaces between sentences feel more important than the sentences themselves. Your breathing stays calm, steady, almost automatic. Your body feels heavier than before, as if it is gently sinking into the surface beneath you, supported from every side. Nothing presses, nothing pulls, just rest. Thoughts appear less often now, and when they do, they fade quickly, like mist, disappearing in the air. You do not follow them, you do not react, you simply remain, or drift. The sense of you becomes softer, less defined. Edges blur, awareness spreads thin, sleep moves closer. Or maybe it has already arrived. There is no clear line, no moment you need to notice. The story grows quieter. Even the words seem tired. They slow, they soften, they lose importance. You may feel a gentle emptiness, a peaceful blankness. This is not boredom, this is rest. Your body continues to relax on its own, breathing slow, heart calm, everything working quietly without instruction. The outside world feels very far away now. Only this calm space remains. Nothing to remember, nothing to do, nothing to finish. Sleep is welcome. Sleep is allowed. And if you are still listening, that is okay. If not, that is even better. The story will continue either way, slowly, softly, without needing anything from you. Nothing new begins here. There is no signal that something has changed. The calm simply continues the same way a quiet night continues without announcing itself. If you are awake, you do not need to listen. If you are drifting, you do not need to hold on. These words are not instructions. They are only sounds moving slowly through the dark. Your breathing remains steady, in and out, soft, unforced. The body already knows what to do. You do not need to help it. The weight you felt before settles even more now, as if gravity itself has softened. Every place where your body touches the surface beneath you feels supported. There is no pressure, no need to adjust, no reason to move. The mind continues to loosen. Thoughts appear less often now, and when they do, they arrive quietly and leave without explanation. Nothing holds your attention for long, not sounds, not images, not ideas. Everything passes. This is exactly how it should be. There is no story to follow, no detail to remember, no meaning hidden anywhere. The words are intentionally simple. They repeat, they drift, they fade. You may notice moments where you are not sure whether you are awake or asleep. That space is comfortable, safe. There is no need to choose. Time stretches again. Seconds feel wide. Minutes lose their edges. There is no urgency, no future moment waiting. Just this gentle continuation. Imagine a quiet room that never changes. The light does not shift. The air stays still. Nothing enters, nothing leaves. You are resting there without effort. Your shoulders feel loose, your arms heavy, your hands relaxed. Even the fingers feel calm. Your legs rest without tension. Nothing is held. Nothing is tight. Breathing stays slow, almost shallow, but complete. The heart works quietly. You do not feel it. You do not need to. The body takes care of itself. Awareness softens further, like lowering the volume on everything that once felt loud. Memories feel distant now. Plans feel unimportant. Language itself begins to lose shape. Words are just sounds. Sounds are just vibrations. They pass without meaning. Sleep moves closer, or maybe you are already there. There is no clear point, no marker, no announcement. The transition is smooth. You are allowed to disappear into rest. Nothing here depends on you staying present. The story does not progress. It does not build. It does not resolve. It simply exists, and even that existence is becoming quieter. Long pauses feel natural. Silence feels comfortable. If there are gaps between words, they are intentional. They give the mind space to drift further away. Your breathing remains steady, in, out. Each breath takes you deeper, not down, not forward, just away, away from effort, away from awareness, away from the need to understand. The sense of time becomes thinner, almost transparent. You might forget where you are, or who you are. That is fine. Nothing requires your identity here. Nothing asks for attention. Your body rests. Your mind floats. Sleep holds you gently. There is no reason to wake, no reason to stay. Just rest, just quiet, just continuation. The words slow even more now. They arrive less frequently. They feel further apart. Almost like echoes. You do not follow them. They pass on their own. The space between them grows, and that space is where sleep settles. You are safe, you are comfortable, you are allowed to sleep. The night does not end, the calm does not change, the story does not need you. And so, everything remains exactly as it is, quiet, soft, unimportant. Nothing needs to happen now. There is no change to notice, no shift to follow. The calm remains exactly as it was before, quiet, unmoving, steady. If you are listening, you do not need to focus. If your attention drifts away, that is expected. These words are not meant to be held, they are meant to pass. Your breathing continues on its own. Slow, soft, even. Each breath feels familiar, safe, comfortable. Your body remains heavy, settled, supported. There's no reason to adjust your position, no signal coming from the body. Everything is already relaxed. The mind stays loose. Thoughts no longer arrive clearly. They feel unfinished, incomplete. They dissolve before becoming real. This is natural. This is rest. Time does not move the way it used to. It stretches, it fades, it becomes unimportant. There is no countdown, no schedule, no next moment waiting, just this ongoing quiet. You may feel as though you are floating slightly, not moving upward, not moving downward, just suspended, held. Nothing pulls at you, nothing pushes. You remain where you are. Or maybe you are no longer aware of location at all. That is fine. Awareness is no longer required. The body continues to rest deeply. Muscles remain loose. The face stays soft. The eyes remain still behind closed lids. There is no tension anywhere. Even places that usually hold stress have let go now. The jaw is relaxed. The neck feels open. The shoulders sink further. The arms feel warm and heavy. Hands resting naturally. The legs feel calm, supported, still. Breathing continues quietly, in and out. Each breath moves gently. No effort, no control, just movement. The sound of words feels distant now, almost like they are coming from far away. You do not need to understand them. They are only here to keep the silence gentle. Nothing important is being said. Nothing needs to be remembered. If you fall asleep, nothing is lost. The story does not progress. It does not build toward anything. It simply continues to exist. And even that existence is becoming softer. Long pauses feel natural. Silence feels comfortable. There is no emptiness here, only rest, only calm. Your awareness drifts further, edges blur, details disappear. The sense of listening fades, the sense of being awake weakens. Sleep settles in quietly, not suddenly, not noticeably, just gently. You are allowed to sleep, you are allowed to stop paying attention. Nothing will be missed, nothing will change. Your body knows how to sleep. It has done this many times before. It does not need instructions, it does not need reminders. It simply rests, the mind follows naturally. Thoughts slow, gaps between thoughts grow longer. Eventually there are only gaps, only quiet, only space. Breathing remains slow, comfortable, regular. The heart continues calmly, working without being noticed. Everything is stable. Nothing needs correction. Nothing needs action. The outside world feels very far away now, unimportant, muted. Only this calm space remains. You may not know how long you have been here. That does not matter. Time has no role now. There is no beginning, no end, just continuation. Words grow even less frequent. They soften, they fade, they lose definition, almost like whispers that disappear before reaching you. You do not reach for them, you do not follow, you simply rest. Sleep deepens, or perhaps you are already asleep. There is no difference worth noticing. Nothing marks the moment, nothing announces it. The calm stays steady, the silence stays kind, the story stays unimportant, and you remain exactly where you need to be, resting, quiet, safe. Nothing changes here. There is no new moment, no new idea. Everything remains slow, steady, and quiet. If you are still awake, you do not need to try. If you are drifting, you do not need to stay. The words continue on their own. You are not required to follow them. Breathing stays calm, in, out, soft and easy. The body remains heavy, comfortably heavy, supported without effort. There is no tension anywhere, no tight place, no signal asking for movement. Everything is already settled. The mind feels distant now. Thoughts appear rarely, and when they do, they feel weak, incomplete. They fade before finishing. This is natural. This is rest. The sense of time grows thinner. Minutes lose meaning. Seconds stretch and dissolve. There is no schedule here, no future moment waiting. Only this gentle continuation. You may notice that sounds feel far away. Even these words do not feel close. They arrive softly and disappear quickly. You do not hold them. You do not respond. They are only background. Your awareness floats quietly, not moving, not anchored, just resting. There is no location to notice, no position to check. The body knows where it is. You do not need to. The face stays relaxed. The jaw is loose. The tongue rests naturally. The eyes remain still. Even the muscles around the eyes have softened. The neck feels open. The shoulders sink further down. The arms feel warm, heavy, comfortable. Hands rest without effort. The legs feel calm, supported, still. Breathing continues, slow, even, unforced. Each breath feels familiar, safe. There is nothing to improve, nothing to adjust. Everything is already fine. The outside world feels very far away, muted, unimportant. Nothing reaches you, nothing demands attention, only quiet remains. The story does not move forward, it does not build, it does not resolve, it simply exists. And even that existence is becoming quieter. Long pauses feel normal, silence feels kind. You may not remember what was said a moment ago, that is expected. Memory is no longer needed. Attention is no longer needed. Awareness softens further, edges blur, details disappear. The feeling of listening fades, sleep comes closer. Or perhaps it is already here. There is no clear difference, no moment to notice, no line to cross, just rest. The words slow down, they appear less often, they feel lighter, almost like distant echoes. You do not follow them, you do not wait for them. They come and go without meaning. Breathing remains steady, in, out. Each breath carries you deeper into rest, not downward, not inward, just away, away from effort, away from awareness, away from thought. The body continues to rest. The heart beats quietly, reliable, calm, unnoticed. Everything works on its own. Nothing needs help. Nothing needs attention. You are allowed to disappear into sleep. Nothing depends on you staying awake. Nothing will change if you stop listening. The calm remains. The quiet remains. The night continues. Time becomes irrelevant. You may not know how long you have been here. That does not matter. There is no beginning, no ending, just continuation. The words grow even softer now, less frequent, less defined, almost blending into silence. You rest inside that silence, comfortably, safely. There is no need to wake, no reason to move, no reason to think. Just rest, just quiet, just nothing important. And everything remains exactly as it is. There is no change. Nothing begins, nothing ends. The quiet simply stays. If you are still aware of these words, there is no need to follow them. If you are not, everything continues just the same. Breathing moves slowly. In, out, soft, unnoticed. The body remains heavy, comfortably still, supported without effort. No part of you needs adjustment. No signal asks for movement. Everything is already settled. Thoughts do not form clearly now, they arrive incomplete. They drift away before becoming words. This is normal, this is rest. The sense of space becomes vague. You may not feel the edges of the room. You may not notice where the body begins or ends. That awareness has softened. There is no position to check, no posture to correct. The body knows what it is doing. You do not need to. The face remains relaxed, the forehead smooth, the eyes rest quietly. No movement behind them, The jaw hangs loose. The tongue rests naturally. The neck feels open. Shoulders sink lower. Arms feel warm, heavy, still. Hands rest where they are. No grip, no tension. The chest rises gently, falls gently. Breathing continues without effort. Nothing interferes, nothing interrupts. The outside world feels very far away, muted, unimportant. Sounds, if they exist, do not reach you. And if they do, they pass through without meaning. The words continue, slow, flat, uninteresting. There is nothing to imagine, nothing to picture, nothing to follow. The story does not go anywhere. It does not build. It does not resolve. It simply exists and slowly fades. You may notice that time has no shape. Minutes feel long or short or non-existent. There's no reason to know, no reason to count, no reason to care. The mind rests deeper now. Awareness thins like fog spreading quietly. Details disappear, edges soften. Nothing feels sharp, nothing feels clear. This is where sleep becomes natural, not forced, not invited, just allowed. The body accepts it easily, the mind releases effort. There is no resistance, no holding on, no watching. The words become background noise, like a distant hum, like air moving quietly. You do not track them. You do not wait for them. They arrive and disappear. Long spaces between them feel comfortable. Silence feels friendly. You rest inside that silence. Nothing asks you to stay awake. Nothing depends on you listening. Nothing will be missed. Nothing will be lost. Sleep can come now, or it may already be here. There is no difference, no moment to notice, no transition to mark. Just rest. Breathing stays calm, in, out. Each breath feels slower, deeper, quieter. The body feels loose, melted, supported fully. The bed holds you. The surface beneath you feels steady, reliable, safe. There is no urgency, no future moment waiting, no past moment returning. Only this quiet continuation. And even that feels distant. Awareness fades further. Thoughts no longer connect. Memory is unnecessary. Attention dissolves. You drift without effort, without direction, without intention. The words slow down even more. They become softer, less frequent, almost blending into silence. You do not notice when they stop. You do not notice when sleep deepens. There is nothing to observe, nothing to report, nothing to remember. Just rest, just quiet, just nothing important. Everything remains calm, everything remains unchanged, and you are free to stay asleep for as long as you wish. Nothing new happens here, nothing needs to happen. Everything stays exactly as it is. If these words are still reaching you, they do not ask for attention. If they are not, nothing is lost. Breathing continues on its own. In, out, slow, quiet. The body feels distant now, not heavy, not light, just there, supported, still. There is no clear sense of shape. Arms and legs rest without identity. They do not ask to be noticed. They do not signal anything. The face remains soft, the forehead smooth. The eyes rest deeply. No movement, no focus. The jaw stays loose. The neck remains open. Shoulders stay lowered. Everything remains released. The chest rises gently, falls gently. Breathing does not change. It does not need guidance. It does not need counting. It knows what to do. The mind is very quiet now. Thoughts do not form. If something appears, it fades immediately. There is no connection between ideas, no beginning, no continuation, no end. This is where awareness becomes thin, like mist, like distant fog. There is no center, no edge, no clear boundary. You may not feel where you are. That is fine. You may not feel time passing. That is expected. The outside world feels extremely far away, muted, unreachable. Nothing from there matters. Nothing from there enters. Silence surrounds everything. Even these words, sit inside silence. They do not disturb it. They pass through gently. You do not follow them. You do not wait for them. They appear and dissolve. Long gaps feel natural, comfortable, safe. You are not required to stay awake. Nothing depends on listening. Nothing will change if sleep deepens. Sleep is allowed. Sleep is welcome. Sleep is already happening. The body sinks further into rest. Muscles stay loose. Breathing stays slow. The heartbeat remains steady, quiet, reliable, unnoticed. Everything functions on its own. Nothing needs help. Nothing needs supervision. The mind lets go completely. No checking, no watching, no effort. Awareness drifts or disappears. There is no need to know which. There is no difference. The words slow down more. They lose clarity. They feel distant, like echoes in a large, empty space. You do not reach for them. You do not react. They come and go without meaning. Silence stretches between them. Silence feels kind, protective, deep. This is rest without thought, rest without direction, rest without memory. You may not remember listening. You may not remember anything. That is correct. Nothing needs to be remembered. Nothing needs to be carried forward. There is no next step, no next moment, just continuation. And even that feels optional. Breathing remains in, out. Each breath feels slower, longer, softer. The body feels fully supported, held, stable, safe. The sense of you becomes faint, less defined, less solid. This is natural. This is deep rest. The words become fewer now. They soften further, almost disappearing. You do not notice when they fade. You do not notice when sleep deepens. There is no marker, no signal, no awareness required. Just quiet, just rest, just nothing important. Everything remains calm. Everything remains unchanged. And sleep continues without interruption. Nothing shifts, nothing changes. There is no moment to notice. If these words are still present somewhere, they do not ask to be heard. They do not ask to be followed. They simply exist and fade. Breathing continues in, out, slow, quiet. Even that feels distant now. The body rests without awareness, not heavy, not light, just supported still. There is no need to feel where you are, no need to sense position, no need to notice comfort. Everything is already comfortable. The face remains soft, the eyes rest deeply, no movement, no focus. The jaw stays loose, the tongue rests naturally, the neck remains open, shoulders stay low, arms remain still, hands do nothing, legs do nothing. Everything remains as it is. The chest rises gently, falls gently. Breathing continues without guidance. It does not need rhythm. It does not need counting. It does not need attention. The mind is quiet now, not thinking, not watching, not waiting. Thoughts do not connect. They do not form. If anything appears, it dissolves immediately. There is no meaning to hold, no memory to keep, no direction to follow. Awareness feels thin, faded, soft, like mist, like distant fog. There is no center, no edge, no boundary. The outside world feels unreachable, muted, very far away. Nothing from there matters, nothing from there arrives. Silence surrounds everything. Even these words sit inside silence. They do not disturb it. They do not break it. They simply pass through. You do not notice when they arrive. You do not notice when they leave. Long pauses feel natural, comfortable, safe. You are not required to stay awake. Nothing depends on listening. Nothing will change if sleep deepens. Sleep is already here, or very close. There is no difference, no transition, no moment to catch. The body sinks deeper into rest. Muscles remain loose. Breathing remains slow. The heartbeat remains steady, quiet, reliable, unnoticed. Everything works on its own. Nothing needs help. Nothing needs control. The sense of being here fades. The sense of listening fades. The sense of time fades. Everything becomes simple, flat, still. The words grow fewer, softer, less defined, almost blending into silence. You do not follow them. You do not respond. They are background, like distant air, like nothing at all. The space between words grows longer. Silence stretches gently. Silence feels kind, protective, deep. There is no effort anywhere, no holding, no resisting, no observing. Just rest, just quiet, just nothing important. If sleep deepens further, nothing is missed. If awareness disappears, everything remains fine. There is no need to wake, no reason to move, no reason to think. Breathing continues in, out. Even that feels optional now. The body rests completely. The mind releases completely. Everything settles fully. The words slow down even more. They almost stop. They almost vanish. You do not notice when they fade. You do not notice anything at all, and that is exactly right. Nothing begins here, nothing ends. There is no moment to notice. If these words are still present, they arrive softly and leave softly. They do not ask for attention. They do not carry meaning. They do not point anywhere. Breathing continues in, out, slow, quiet. Even breathing feels distant now. The body rests without awareness. There is no sense of weight, no sense of lightness, just support, just stillness. The face remains smooth, the eyes stay deeply closed, the forehead stays relaxed, the jaw stays loose, the neck remains open, the shoulders rest low, arms remain still, hands do nothing, legs do nothing. Everything remains exactly as it is. The chest rises gently, falls gently. No effort, no guidance, no focus. The mind is very quiet now, not thinking, not listening, not waiting. Thoughts do not form. If something appears, it dissolves immediately. There is nothing to hold, nothing to remember, nothing to follow. Awareness feels thin, soft, faded, like mist, like empty space. There is no center, no edge, no boundary. The outside world feels unreachable, muted, very far away. Nothing from there matters. Nothing from there enters. Silence surrounds everything. Even these words rest inside silence. They do not disturb it. They do not change it. They simply pass through. You do not notice when they arrive. You do not notice when they leave. Long pauses feel natural, comfortable, safe. There is no need to stay awake. Nothing depends on listening. Nothing will be missed if sleep deepens. Sleep is already here, or has been here for a while. There is no difference. The body sinks fully into rest. Muscles remain loose. Breathing remains slow. The heartbeat remains steady, quiet, reliable, unnoticed. Everything functions on its own. Nothing needs help. Nothing needs control. The sense of being fades. The sense of time fades. The sense of self fades. Everything becomes flat, still, empty. The words become fewer now, softer, less clear, almost disappearing. You do not follow them. You do not react. They are background, like distant air, like nothing at all. Silence stretches gently. Silence feels kind, protective, deep. There is no effort anywhere, no holding, no resisting, no observing, just rest, just quiet, just nothing important. If awareness disappears completely, everything remains fine. If sleep deepens further, nothing is lost. There is no next moment, no next thought, no next part, only continuation, and even that feels optional. Breathing continues in, out, slower, softer, longer. The body remains fully supported, safe, still. The words slow down, they fade, they dissolve. You do not notice when they stop. You do not notice anything at all. And that is exactly how it should be. After everything that came before, the world felt unchanged. Not in a disappointing way, just calm. still, uninterested in making an impression. The place you are in now does not demand anything from you. The air does not ask you to breathe in any special way. It simply moves slowly, as air always does. Somewhere nearby there is a room. It does not matter what kind of room. It is not remarkable. It has existed for a long time, and it will continue to exist without noticing you. The light in this room is gentle, as if it forgot how to be bright. It does not reach into corners with urgency. It rests where it falls. Nothing here is in a hurry. You might notice a surface, perhaps a table, or a floor, or something else entirely. It is steady. It has been steady for years. It will remain steady without effort. Your body does not need to adjust. It already knows how to rest. Thoughts may still appear. That is normal. They are like quiet visitors who do not expect to be entertained. They can come, they can go. No one is keeping track. Time moves differently here. Minutes do not announce themselves. Seconds pass without names. If you tried to count them, they would slip away. Somewhere beyond this room there may be a distant place. Not a destination, just a continuation. A path that does not need walking. A direction that does not require choosing. You do not need to imagine it clearly. A vague sense is more than enough. The feeling of the story now is similar to a long, quiet evening that never quite becomes night and never quite stays day. Just a soft in-between. Breathing happens on its own. You are not guiding it. You do not need to. Your shoulders may feel heavier, not with weight, but with release. The kind of heaviness that comes when holding on is no longer necessary. Nothing important will happen next. And that is the most comforting part. If there is a sound, it is distant. Too distant to define. It could be wind. It could be nothing at all. The mind, when it realizes there is nothing it must do, begins to slow. Not suddenly, gradually, like a clock that was never wound tightly. You are not moving forward in the story. The story is simply resting with you. Even this moment does not need your awareness. If sleep comes now, the story is complete. If it does not, the story will continue without effort. There is no correct pace. Somewhere, a surface supports you. It does not complain. It does not shift. It understands its role very well. You might feel as if you are sinking, not downward, but inward, into a quieter version of yourself. Thoughts become less detailed. Words lose their edges. Meaning becomes optional. The story does not build toward anything. It simply exists long enough for wakefulness to lose interest. If you notice silence, that is fine. If you notice nothing, that is even better. You do not need to stay with the story. The story will stay anyway. Breath after breath, without counting. Moment after moment, without marking. Everything that needed to be done has already been done. There is nothing left to prepare for. The quiet continues, soft, unchanging, and you are allowed to drift. The quiet from before does not end. It simply stretches, not longer, not shorter, just wider, softer, less defined. If there was a sense of place earlier, it becomes less clear now. Walls are no longer important. Distances no longer matter. The story is no longer moving forward. It is gently floating. Breathing continues the way it always has, without instruction, without correction. The body understands what to do when nothing is demanded of it. If thoughts appear, they do not arrive fully formed. They arrive unfinished. They drift away before they can explain themselves. You do not need to follow them. They were never meant to be followed. Somewhere there might be the idea of a room, but even that idea feels unnecessary. The air feels still even if it is moving, the kind of stillness that does not need silence to exist. Time passes but without making any sound. If you tried to notice the moment when 1 minute becomes the next, you would miss it. That is perfectly fine. Nothing is being built here. Nothing is being solved. This part of the story exists only to give your mind permission to stop asking questions. There is no lesson hidden inside, no detail you need to remember later. The story does not mind if you leave it. It will remain calm without you. Your body may feel heavier now, not uncomfortable, just settled, as if gravity has finally become gentle. Muscles loosen quietly, without asking, without effort. The space around you does not react, it does not notice, it does not care. And that makes it safe. If you are still listening, that is fine. If you are only half listening, that is even better. Awareness becomes optional here. The story continues in the background like a distant hum that you do not need to identify. Somewhere far away, something may be happening, but it has nothing to do with you. You are not required to participate. The pace slows again, not because it needs to, but because it can. Words become softer. Pauses become longer. Meaning becomes thinner. The mind enjoys this kind of emptiness. It relaxes into it. You may notice a sensation of drifting, not moving, just loosening, as if the edges of thought are dissolving. Nothing pulls you back. Nothing waits ahead. This is a resting place that does not announce itself. Breathing remains steady, slow, natural. There is no rhythm you need to follow. Your body already knows it. If sleep comes now, there is no interruption. If it comes later, there is no rush. The story does not mind waiting. Moments stretch without becoming long. Silence deepens without becoming loud. You are allowed to forget where the story began. You are allowed to forget that there is a story at all. Everything important has already faded. The mind becomes quieter when it realizes nothing will happen next. And then, even that realization fades. The story softens further. Almost nothing now, just presence without focus, rest without instruction. If awareness flickers, it flickers gently. If it disappears, the story continues without sound. There is no ending to reach, no point to arrive at, only this calm, repeating stillness, again and again, without effort, without need. You are supported, you are safe, you are allowed to sleep. The calm from before does not change. It does not move forward. It does not move back. It simply remains. If you were still listening a moment ago, you may notice that listening feels unnecessary now. The story has become background, soft, unfocused, unimportant. There is no clear place anymore, no clear time, only a gentle sense of being supported by nothing in particular. Breathing continues without effort, slowly, naturally. Each breath feels less noticeable than the last. Thoughts may appear, but they arrive tired. They do not stay long enough to explain themselves. They fade quietly, as if they were never fully awake. You do not need to guide your mind. It already knows where to go. The body becomes heavier again, not in a way that presses down, but in a way that settles, as if every part of you has found a place to rest. The muscles no longer hold their shape. They soften, they release. Even the spaces between thoughts relax. If awareness remains, it remains gently. If it disappears, nothing is lost. The story does not depend on being heard. There is no message waiting at the end, no conclusion that matters. The words exist only to slow everything down. Time stretches so thin that it almost disappears. Seconds lose their edges. Minutes dissolve into each other. You are not waiting for sleep. You are allowing it. There is no difference now. The mind stops checking, stops wondering, stops asking what comes next. Nothing comes next, and that feels safe. The silence underneath the words grows deeper, more comfortable, more familiar, like a quiet you have known before, but never needed to notice. Breathing becomes even softer now, almost unnoticeable. The chest rises and falls in a way that feels distant, as if the body is resting on its own without needing your awareness. You do not need to stay with a story, you can let it drift away. Just like thoughts drift away, just like effort drifts away. The story slows further, not because it must, but because there is nowhere else to go. Everything important has already stopped. If sleep arrives now, it arrives gently, without announcement, without permission. If it has already arrived, the story fades without disturbing it. There is nothing here that could wake you, nothing sharp, nothing loud, nothing sudden, only softness repeating itself again and again. The body feels warm in places, cool in others. All sensations are allowed, none of them require attention. They exist, and then they fade. Awareness loosens its grip. The idea of listening becomes optional. The idea of thinking becomes unnecessary. The story no longer describes anything. It simply exists as a quiet rhythm. Words slow down, pauses grow longer, meaning becomes thinner and thinner until meaning is no longer needed. The mind enjoys this. It rests into the absence of importance. Nothing needs to be done tomorrow. Nothing needs to be solved tonight. This moment is complete, exactly as it is. Breathing continues, slow, steady. The body sinks deeper into rest. The edges of awareness blur. You may not remember this part later. That is expected. That is the point. The story does not ask to be remembered. It asks only to be ignored. Sleep deepens naturally, not because you try, but because nothing is stopping it now. The final quiet settles in. There is no ending sound, no closing moment. The story simply becomes unnecessary, and then nothing, just rest, just calm, just sleep.